Alright, Ivern, you wanted to bring me out here. Why?
Brush just tickles my fancy.
Okay, what does that even mean?
Brambleback always has the best jokes.
Why did I agree to this?
And how are the pebbles, Blue?
Ivern, I don't think you can just ask people that.
Grump, the epitome of frogdom.
Wait, was that racist? Hey guys, Pope Sano here. Welcome to my How to Jungle guide. Today we're talking about clearing the jungle. This will be a series, so a lot more to come, but let's get right to it. So, first off, why does this matter? Why do you need to know how to clear? Well, you're going to be faster, you're going to be richer, you're going to be healthier. To help explain this, we're going to use the trusty jungle compass. At least that's what I'm calling it. Look, there's two axes that I'm going to explain this on. Horizontal and the vertical axis. On the vertical axis, we're talking about champions that are either mobile or immobile. On the horizontal axis, we're talking about champions that either have AoE in their kit or are just single target. So to flesh this out a little bit further, AoE champions that are also mobile include Amumu, Hecarim, Kayn, Graves, Zac, and Diana. I include Amumu in there because he can use his Q to get over walls. Next we have single target and mobile champions. That includes Xin Zhao, Lee Sin, and Nidalee. Third we have the AoE champions who are also immobile. For example, Fiddlesticks, Maokai, and Karthus. Finally we have the immobile champions who are also single target. For example, this includes Warwick or Viego. See, this is important because if we can start to identify which quadrant the champion you're playing might fall into, we can also better identify their strengths and weaknesses while clearing the jungle. Champions that are in the mobile and AoE section are generally going to be the best clearing junglers in the game, whereas champions in the immobile and single target section will usually struggle or at least take a bit longer than others. However, most of these champions, such as Warwick, have some sustain to help them get through. This information is also helpful to understand about the enemy jungler. For example, if you're playing a strong mobile AoE clearing jungler like Zac, there's going to be a lot more uptime for you on the map, getting levels and XP and gold from your camps, than a champion like Lee Sin or Nidalee or Xin Zhao. But it's one thing to understand jungle matchups and jungle champions in theory and what quadrant they might fit in. It's another to actually execute this in practice because every champion has different tools and abilities that help them clear the jungle. So, let's get into it. First off, we need to be cutting our camps. As you can see here in both examples, on the right and left, there's quite a huge difference by the time I finish this camp, because on the left you can see I'm pulling it down. Not only am I going to finish this clear much healthier, by 70 HP by the way, but I also arrive at the Krugs way sooner. We also need to be keenly aware of what passives and actives our champion has. For example, with Diana, we want to be hitting this blast plant around the 126, 127 mark because that's going to give us bonus attack speed and our passive mark up quicker when red buff spawns. Some junglers also have a very optimized clear. Shaco's a good example of that with his boxes. Now, it seems like we may just be placing boxes arbitrarily, but really, we're looking at the cooldown of that ability when the jungle camps spawn, and therefore how many boxes we can get out with the duration that they sit on the ground to maximize how quickly our clear can be. In this case, based on the cooldown, the duration, and when the camps spawn, we know that we can get 3 boxes down, 2 on Raptors, 1 on Red, and by the time we finish the Raptors, we'll have another box up to place at Red's feet. It's important to be aware of these optimized clears because typically it means you're giving yourself a huge advantage, and if you don't use them, giving yourself a huge disadvantage. Many champions have more common ways in which they can enhance their clear and make it faster and healthier. This often comes in the form of steroids like attack speed and movement speed. For example, Wukong and his E is both an auto attack reset, but also gives him attack speed. Lee Sin with his passive means that you want to ensure that you're auto attacking in between every single spell in order to get the most out of his passive. Another thing you should be doing very often, especially when your champion has ranged spells like Diana's Q, is as you're approaching a camp, you should be throwing that cue in such a way that you're aggroing the camp to walk towards you to meet you in the middle, so that you're not wasting all your time walking the full distance towards that camp. Remember that when a camp is very low, both red buff and your jungle item will still deal burn damage to that camp, meaning you oftentimes don't need to waste an auto attack to finish off 10 damage or so. You can actually leave and move on, and your jungle item or red buff will do the rest. You can also use Smite to start a camp in order to drag it towards you as well. Hecarim is very good at doing this because he can actually still use his AoE Qs and W to kill the camp that he was initially started. Now, when we put all of these things that we've talked about together, we can start to see a huge difference unfold over the course of an entire full clear. On the left, you see a bronze Amumu player trying to clear. He's got a great leash, and we'll see some mistakes along the way. And on the right, we have a relatively optimized clear by me and a practice tool, both of which are sped up to 1.5 speed. You'll see a mix of kiting, a mix of using our AoE, using Smite to drag camps, using Qs to get over walls, dragging camps in the direction that we want to go, and more in order to really get this clear down pat. Keep in mind, my clear was leashless and started on blue buff, meaning I don't have red buff to be helping me out during the first few camps. Alright guys, well I finally found my way out of the jungle, and I hope you found your way through the jungle a little bit better today. I gotta get out of here before that weirdo wyvern comes back, but look, if you enjoyed this content, I have so much more coming, a lot more educational stuff, a lot more for fun series, so hey, drop a like, drop a sub, stick around the channel, it's gonna be a blast around here. Pope out.